Are you looking for the best tape measure in your budget? Well, in today's video we break down the top 5 best tape measure that are available on the market. I made this list based on their price, quality, durability, and more. To find out more information about this product, you can check out the description below, and also make sure you subscribe for more reviews. Okay, so let's get started with the video. The 5th product on our list is the IRWIN Strait-LINE tape measure, built to take a beating and keep on working. This professional quality tape measure has a very sturdy housing that resists damage even if dropped from way up high, although a bit on the large side. We found that both the 16 feet and 25 feet models were easy to hold and felt comfortable in our hands. The tape measure has a sliding lock to hold the blade extended when in use, and we found it very easy to slide with just one thumb. An additional feature we loved was a finger brake opening at the bottom of the tape measure that lets the user control the speed of the blade as it retracts. No more abrupt motions that can cut your finger or knock the tool out of your hand. The 1-1 divided by 4 inches wide blade is coated for durability, with the first 6 inches double coated to prevent fraying, bending, or cracking. The measurement indicators are large and easy to read, with lines sized appropriately to make it easy at a glance to tell if you are looking at 1/16 of an inches, 1/8 of an inches, 1/4 of an inches, or 1/2 inches markings. Standard stud and joist spacings are marked as well, and both sides of the blades have the full range of measurements. So it's easy to use the tape measure even over your head or in tight or awkward spots. The one downside we found was the standout of this tape measure. That's the distance the blade of a tape measure can stand out straight without support before bending towards the ground. Wasn't quite as good as some others in our test. The 25 feet model tested at around 13 feet, not the 17 feet claimed by the manufacturer. The 16 feet model, however, had an acceptable standout of around 12 feet. The dual-sided hook helps keep the blade in place when measuring without an assistant. The belt clip easily attaches to a belt or strap, but this measuring tape is a bit bulky for the designated tape measure holder on some tool pouches. Overall, we found this to be a very accurate, durable, and useful tape measure for professionals, DIYers, and around-the-house users alike. Up next in the 4th place is the Contractor LR tape measure. There's no need to break your budget for a tape measure if you just need a basic tool for taking measurements around the house. We found the 25 feet Contractor LR to be very accurate, although it lost some points for having an awkwardly placed blade lock that required our tester to reposition his hand to use. It also has a somewhat aggressive recoil, meaning that if you don't take care, you might get nicked by the retracting blade. Still, for the price point, this is a fine tape measure that is sturdily constructed. The measurements are in black on both sides of the blade. The blade itself is white on one side and yellow on the other, which gives you options when using the tape measure in a spot with dim light that makes it a little harder to read the measurements. The blade is double-coated nylon for durability but is somewhat flatter than many other tape measures, which reduce standout in our tests to around 9 feet. While this isn't the best choice if you need a tape measure for frequent or professional use, it's a worthy addition to the toolbox of anyone who just wants a decent tape measure for occasionally measuring objects around the house. The 3rd product on our list is the Stanley FATMAX tape measure. This iconic 25 feet tape measure is in the toolboxes of many professionals, but it's especially ideal for DIYers and others who want a tape measure for use around their homes. We found it to be very comfortable to hold, easy to clip onto a belt, and even easier to slide the blade lock on or off with just one thumb. Our tester did note that the recoil was a bit slow but reliable, and the sturdy, non-slip, rubber-coated case protects the tool from damage even if dropped from a height. It also has a nicely designed end hook that makes it easy to grab onto whatever you are measuring to keep the tape measure in place. The measurements are marked in large, easy to read black numbers down to 1 divided by 1/16 of an inch. Standard stud and joist spacings are marked as well. The 1-1 divided by 4 inches wide blade is coated for strength and durability, with an additional layer of protective coating on the first 4-1 divided by 2 inches of the blade. In our tests, the standout was around 10 feet, which isn't especially impressive but is more than adequate for the types of projects typically handled by DIYers or for use around the home. Second on our list is the Milwaukee 48226825 25-foot compact auto lock tape measure. This sturdy tape measure automatically locks in place at the point where you stop pulling out the blade. A well-placed top button gently releases the blade when you're ready, a feature that comes in very handy when you are measuring a long distance without an assistant. We tested both the 16 feet and 25 feet models and found them both very accurate in terms of measurement. We also liked the compact size of this tape measure, which fits comfortably in the hand. Our tester noted that the belt clip was somewhat stiff, but the tool still clipped in place fairly easily. However, despite the manufacturer's claims of up to a 12 feet standout, we found that 10 feet was more accurate, as the tape measure blade is a bit flimsy. Still, this tape measure has a lot to recommend it. Most tape measures just have small lines to indicate fractions of an inch, but that can be tough to read. If you need very precise measurements without the bother of squinting at tiny lines, you'll appreciate this tape measure as much as we do. Unlike most other options, this one has a fractional scale. That means it actually has the fractions printed right onto the nylon blade, so you can see clearly indicated an eighth, a quarter, and half an inch as numerals, plus small lines to indicate 1 divided by 16ths of an inch. Finally, the top product on our list is the Bosch Blaze Pro GLM 165-40 165 feet laser distance measure. Although it's not technically a tape, this laser measure is just as accurate. Bosch is well known for its accurate and easy-to-use lasers measures. I've used this model when on a ladder measuring between ceiling rafters to cut drywall pieces. It's a task that would have been almost impossible to accomplish alone using a tape measure. The real-time display is another useful feature. It continuously adjusts as you move the unit back and forth. It can keep up to 10 measurements stored in its memory, which can come in handy when you don't have a pencil and paper. Plus, you don't have to worry about you or anyone else misreading any handwritten measurements. The main drawback of this model is that the laser needs to bound off of a surface to work. This does limit its overall usefulness, so you'll still want a standard tape measure to ensure you have all your bases covered.
Thanks for watching, and that's all for now. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Till next time.